depression can be a debilitating thing, and it is something that so many people suffer from. And did you know that magic mushrooms, that's right, mushrooms with psilocybin as their active ingredient, can reduce depressive symptoms in people with major depressive disorder, severe forms of depression. And we've seen this in trials over the years. We've seen more specifically at around 0.136 milligrams per pound of body weight, that is administering psilocybin in that dose, in either a single dose or multiple doses. It's not dependent on the amount of times that someone takes it. It seems, even just one or a couple times can have a major, substantial effect in reducing depressive symptoms. And let's supplement that with a recent example from a study that just came out, again, about magic mushrooms and depression, you guys, right? And so this one involved 500 people around that with major depressive disorder, severe forms of depression. They gave them anywhere from 10 to 25 milligrams of psilocybin, or that number, 0.136 milligrams per pound of body weight of psilocybin. To give you an idea, that's like 27 milligrams in somebody who's 200 pounds, right, of psilocybin, in either a single dose or in 2 doses. And they found that they had statistically significant improvements with a large effect size on depressive symptoms. And this is pretty rare when it comes to natural supplements, when it comes to natural things, especially for something like depression, to have a large effect size. Often you see people have stuff like this and they don't stack up to pharmaceuticals. There are a few exceptions. You look at like saffron and SSRIs and things like that, but a large effect size. Typically they're small or medium effect size, very substantial here, and something definitely worth looking into before you go dive into a bunch of medications, right? So what is going on with mushrooms here? How is it affecting your brain? Really and simple. And I'll post a bunch of information if you guys want to dive deep into the science and some of the mechanisms of action and things like that with this video. But, what is kind of going on here in simple? What are some other things that are great for reducing depression naturally, as we always talk about here? When it comes to mushrooms, they're pretty much rewiring your brain, right? They're changing how you see things. They're changing different networks in your brain, like the default mode network, which basically it controls, what's going on inside your head, regardless of the environment, all right? In simple, and I'll again explain that in greater depth in the description for this video. The salience network, which is basically determining what you're focusing on, what you choose to focus on, which obviously is extremely important when it comes to depression and mood and how you see life in general. And the executive network. The executive network is more, reasoning and thinking through things and problem solving and things of that nature, right? So what else is good for depression? Well, it's just being healthy, right, is really what it is. And we say this all the time. When you correct one thing, you correct how the system works. That translates to the rest of your life and your overall health. And when you look at depression, it's really no different. You want to exercise, especially walking. Walking was shown to have the greatest beneficial effect in one of the trials that we referenced, a few months back here at When Wellness, for reducing depressive symptoms in people with some serious depression, right? Yoga is also good, Tai Chi, Qigong, all stuff like that, right? Pilates. But walking actually was number one in that one. It reduced, I believe, 68%, to the highest degree, whatever. So you got that. You got exercise, you got walking. You have a lot of healthy fats and fiber and probiotics, namely omega-3s when it comes to healthy fats. So they reduce inflammation in your brain and they affect the brain chemicals that your brain is releasing, and serotonin and dopamine. Having more protein, limiting added sugars, processed foods, refined flours, right? Colors, dyes, all that kind of crap that's in processed food. And again, really limiting sugar, right? Low-calorie ketogenic diets have shown promise. Intermittent fasting has shown promise. Losing weight in general has shown promise. So really, like this is all going to improve your body composition, and it's going to also improve how you think and how you perform, both mentally and physically. When it comes to some other things, we have, sleep. You want to get more sleep. Meditation, mindfulness, listening to music, having a pet, right, is a good thing. And interestingly, a lot of these things we're mentioning here are also good for memory, right? And so again, you correct one thing, you correct many things. There is a bidirectional link with memory impairment and depression. That means people that typically are depressed typically have worse memory and vice versa, right? And so if you correct one, you can really help the other. And we did a video on One Wellness showing how there were like 10 different things that were remedies for both, literally the exact same things. And so again, a few of them we had were the pets, were the music, were the mindfulness, the meditation, we're getting more sleep, getting more sunlight, right? Just pretty much being more active, playing brain games, right? Things of that nature, and all the stuff that we mentioned with nutrition. All right, now what do we have for supplements aside from psilocybin in terms of natural supplements for depression? Well, make sure you're not deficient in vitamin D, zinc, or magnesium. That's really big. So I would make sure I'm not deficient in those, and let's kind of go from there. How do you make sure you're not deficient in those if you didn't get blood work? You can just eat a lot of those good whole foods that we're talking about, right? That we talk about every single day here at One Wellness. And they can help to improve your mood, right? And getting more sunlight, vitamin D's major, sunlight's a major source, right? But salmon has a lot, right? You find some in egg yolk and foods that are fortified with vitamin D. You can have those without them being processed, right? You can have natural foods that are high, but again, that's a big one, is sunlight, right? You think leafy greens, nuts and seeds, some yogurt and dairy products. Dairy could be pro-inflammatory, so you want to reduce inflammation as well here. Eating anti-inflammatory foods when it comes to depression, right? And in general, again, that will improve your overall health, everything, right? But when it comes to more specifically the top supplements we have as of October 2024, saffron probably makes the top of the list. I personally put psilocybin here, and I put everything else like here. So that shows how powerful the psilocybin is. Saffron, 15 milligrams twice a day. Omega-3s, 3 grams. Combined EPA and DHA in a day. Lavender, that's silexin, 80 milligrams twice a day you could have. Passion flower, 500 milligrams in a day. And again, make sure you don't have any deficiencies. Soy isoflavones could also be good. We did a talk on that at One Wellness. There was at least one trial that showed some benefit with reducing depressive symptoms. And acupuncture could also be good. So that's really in simple, right? And that's without us diving into all these mechanisms. I'm trying to just give you guys the information quickly here, that can help you to feel better, to be happier, to enjoy life, and to not waste a moment, right? You don't want to waste time in life being upset or being angry or worrying about all this stupid shit that society tries to make you worry about. Just live in the moment, be present, and enjoy it to the greatest degree. And the way that you can do that is by mentally and physically fortifying yourself, by being healthy, right? And then you have supplements and things that can also help you. But psilocybin is very fascinating because of how it can rewire your brain. It's not just based on like a supplement that will increase levels of serotonin or dopamine and things like that, and more temporary increases in things. It's a more permanent effect. And so I think it's just absolutely wonderful and beautiful, and something that I'm happy to share with you. Who do we got on here? We got to go work. Thank you. I am Nova. I'm glad you feel that way. Kristen, what's up? How you doing, baby? Suzu, Pomp. It's Sabia, baby. How you doing? Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Vaseline Skin. Sabia, I'm not going to sing every day. This way I could just say that some days. What's up, Kev? Ezekiel Sims. And SMI, too. As for now. So we got for you, folks. We'll see you tomorrow, baby. Not sure where, not sure when, but we'll see you then. Have an amazing day. If you want to change your life for the better, watch some One Wellness videos. Shoot me a message. You could call me. My number's online. I'd be happy to help you, for free as much as I can. Or come into the office and we can sit down and we can talk about your specific goals and desires, right? And needs in life and in health and in everything. So have a great day. Thanks so much. Absolute pleasure. Always.